Good morning, boys and girls. As you know, today is September 11th, which is called the Patriot Day. You might be wondering, what is patriotism? So as you can see, patriotism shows that you are proud of and loyal to your country. People who are patriotic vote in elections. They also respect the country's symbols and celebrate national holidays. Now, September 11th is a day that we remember a terrorist attack that happened in our country. So today I want to share with you one of Mrs. Bauer's favorite books called The Man in the Red Bandana. So, by Honor Crowther Fagan, illustrated by John Crowther. The Man in the Red Bandana. Dedicated to Wells Remy Crowther and the men and women and children who lost their lives on September 11, 2001, their families and friends. When he was only 7 years old, Wells was given a bandana by his father. It was a special gift that made Wells feel strong. Wells' dad always carried a blue bandana, and Wells' new bandana was just like it, only red. From the moment Wells received that bandana, he carried it with him everywhere. It had lots of uses. It was a cowboy mask, a pirate hat, a flag to signal the end of the race. As Wells grew up, he stopped using his red bandana as a toy and started to use it underneath his helmets. You see, Wells was an athlete whose favorite sports were ice hockey and lacrosse. He wore that bandana underneath his helmet to keep the sweat out of his eyes. Wells not only wore a helmet when he played sports, he also wore one as a volunteer firefighter. At the age of 16, Wells again followed his father's example and became a volunteer fireman. He trained with real firefighters and was taught that rescuing people who were trapped inside was their first priority. He also learned how to safely get through the burning building and put out fires. It was this training and the red bandana that helped Wells become a hero. After college, Wells went to New York on the 104th floor of the World Trade Center in New York City. Wells loved working up so high. He often called his father on rainy days to ask, "Is it raining where you are?" When his father replied that it was, Wells would say, "Well, it's sunny up here." But on Tuesday morning, September 11th, 2001, it was not a rainy day. The sun was bright and there were no clouds in the blue sky. As Wells sat in his office, he heard an explosion nearby that rattled his desk and cleared his chair. When he looked out the window to see the World Trade Center Tower 1 building, he could see the fire spewing out the floors right across from him. Wells wanted to help with the tragic situation unfolding in the next tower. Just minutes after the explosion in Tower 1, Wells left his office. To get down to the lobby from the 78th floor, you had to first take an elevator to the 78th floor sky lobby. From there, you took a non-stop elevator to the ground floor. Many people would be waiting in the sky lobby for their elevator. Wells knew it would take too long to wait for an elevator from the 104th floor to the sky lobby, then one to the ground. So he headed down the stairs. In a few minutes, Wells had made it all the way down near the 78th floor. That's when another explosion occurred. Only this one was much louder and stronger than the last. Wells ran right for the door of the sky lobby, but he could tell by the smoke coming into the stairwell that there were fires burning inside. Wells took out his red bandana and tied it around his nose and mouth so that he did not breathe in the smoke. When Wells entered the sky lobby, it was hard to see through all the smoke. There were badly injured people who needed his help to get to safety. He found a fire extinguisher to put out the flames that continued to endanger the survivors. Wells immediately took charge and called out to anyone who might be able to hear him. "I found the stairs!" If you can get up and walk, get up now. If you are able to help someone else, help them. Follow me. I know the way. Many people were dazed, but one woman was in such a state of shock that she could not walk. Wells wanted to help as many survivors as possible. He picked up the shocked woman and, leading a group of 3 others, carried her down the stairs. Wells saw the air start to clear as they made it down the stairwell, so he pulled the bandana from his face. When they made it to the 61st floor, the lights were on, and Wells thought it was safe to send people on their own. Wells told the group to continue down the stairs and out of the building. He turned around and headed back up the stairs. Wells collected another group of survivors and ushered them to the stairs. Again, he led them down to the clean air on the 61st floor and told them to continue to safety. Once again, Wells went back up the stairs. During his 3rd trip to the sky lobby, Wells found that there were people who were alive, but were trapped underneath heavy pieces of metal. He knew that in order to save them, he would need a firefighter's tool called a Jaws of Life. Wells followed the stairs down to the lobby for his 3rd and final trip. He found the command center where firefighters and police officers were planning the rescue effort. Wells let them know that they would need the Jaws of Life up in the sky lobby. But Wells would not make it up there. The damage to both buildings was too severe, and they soon collapsed. No one knew what happened to Wells until his mother read a newspaper article months later. In an article, survivors recalled being saved by a man in a red bandana. She said to herself, "There you are, Wells. I have finally found you." Wells was recognized through pictures by 2 women whom he led to safety. They will never forget the bravery and strength that Wells showed on that day. They will never forget the man who saved their lives. They will never forget the man in the red bandana. So Wells Remy Crowther's 3 trips from the 78th floor sky lobby to the 61st floor of the World Trade Center South Tower saved many lives. Because of his bravery and courage on 9/11/2001, Wells was posthumously named the honorary firefighter in the fire department of the New York, and the first time of the history in the department that an individual has been honored in this way. He has been recognized all over the world for his heroic acts through numerous media outlets, including ESPN's Outside the Lines. So, boys and girls, I hope that shows you just one act of bravery and courage that we remember on September 11th today from the horrific events as well that took place on September 11th, as well as one person that we can choose to look up to that positively impacted others on that day. I hope that you have a wonderful day and enjoyed this story.